Okay, let's take a deep breath for this one. We're going to unpack an incredibly painful story today.
Right. It's truly defined by tragedy and some shocking premeditation.
Right,
Okay, so November 7th, 2025, it's about midway through the day, and the Carnival Horizon cruise ship is making its way back to Port Miami.
right.
And a housekeeping worker enters a stateroom just doing her job,
A totally routine day.
and what she finds is just horrifying.
The body of 18-year-old Anna Kepner.
A young woman who was just weeks from graduating high school with these big dreams of joining the U.S. Navy.
And she was found hidden. Concealed with just a shocking amount of effort.
Yeah, her body wasn't just placed somewhere. It was aggressively stuffed under the bed, wrapped in a blanket.
And then completely covered by multiple orange life jackets.
That part, that accumulation of jackets, it wasn't an accident. It was a really frantic act of concealment. It was designed to buy time.
Right.
So for this deep dive, we really need to look at how this happened, because this isn't some random act of violence at sea. This feels like a tragedy that was years in the making.
It really does. We want to focus on the warning signs, the really disturbing warning signs that came before this.
And the family dynamics, which are complicated, to say the least.
Right. And then there's the whole legal side of it. A homicide in international waters, a minor who is a suspect. It's incredibly complex.
But the search for justice is very much ongoing.
So let's start with who Anna was before all of this.
Okay.
Anna Marie Kepner.
Her family called her Anna Banana.
Yeah, and everyone who knew her described her as just radiant, bubbly. You look at any photo, and she has this infectious smile.
She was a senior at Temple Christian School, a straight-A student, varsity cheerleader. She really had clear, ambitious goals for her life.
She had already completed the entrance testing for the United States military.
And the dream was the Navy. Right after graduation, she wanted to join the Navy.
And her ultimate goal was to become a canine police officer.
She was already so accomplished. She had her boating license. She was PADI scuba certified. This was a young woman who was really living with purpose.
Totally agree.
So this was a young woman who had a future all mapped out, a future of service and adventure. And she had this real kindness about her. It seems like she went out of her way to make other people feel seen and valued.
Which is pretty remarkable when you start to understand the kind of emotional environment she was living in at home.
Her biological parents had separated. Her father, Christopher Kepner, he remarried a woman named Chantel Hudson.
And Chantel brought her own children into this new blended family, including the 16-year-old who is now the suspect.
This is where we sort of have to introduce a pretty heavy piece of the family's past because it gives you some crucial context.
Right.
Court documents from back in 2008 show that Anna's father, Christopher, had a sexual violence injunction filed against him.
And it was filed on behalf of a minor. A 15-year-old babysitter.
Right, his babysitter.
Tabitha Donahue.
That injunction was later dismissed, but here's the really disturbing connection. That young woman later became his second wife.
And a stepmother. Now, that injunction was eventually dismissed, but the fact that it exists at all, it establishes a certain context for the family environment.
A context where maybe the safety of young women wasn't the top priority?
Exactly.
You find out she was staying with friends a lot, actively trying to avoid being at home.
Right.
She told her ex-boyfriend Joshua that her stepmother, Chantel, doesn't really like her and that she was very controlling.
So she was living in this state of constant discomfort.
And you can see that emotional stress bubbling up just before the trip.
Yeah, her final TikTok posts in late October, they hinted at some serious pain. She was talking about breakups, disrespect, lies, manipulation.
She was trying to be strong, saying she'd always keep a smile on her face, but you could just feel the pain underneath it all.
And then her ex-boyfriend, Joshua, he shares this story that is it's chilling.
He was on FaceTime with her.
Yes, late at night, around 3 a.m. And through the phone, he literally watches as her 16-year-old stepbrother comes into her room.
While she's sleeping.
And tries to climb onto her.
Wow.
Joshua confronted him, yelled at him through the phone,
Yeah.
and the boy just ran out of the room.
So there was a witness, an actual witness to this.
And it wasn't a one-time thing. Anna told Joshua that the stepbrother was obsessed with her, that he was constantly trying to start some kind of romantic or physical relationship with her.
And it gets worse.
It does. She also told him the stepbrother often carried a large knife.
Wait, so you have a witness who sees him trying to climb on top of her at 3 a.m.
Right.
You have her saying he's obsessed with her, and you have him carrying a weapon. And that wasn't enough for the parents to step in, to separate them. That alone is a crisis. That demands immediate protection.
Joshua's own father tried to tell Anna's parents how concerned he was. The sources say they were unwilling to accept it, or just didn't address how serious the risk was.
And Anna herself. She was scared to report it.
She was. She was afraid it would just make things worse at home, make the whole situation more volatile.
That fear of making waves in the family, it ended up costing her everything.
It did. Because despite all of this, on November 2nd, 2025, the family boards the Carnival Horizon for a 6-night cruise.
The parents, Christopher and Chantel, they take their own separate stateroom. And they put Anna in a cabin with her 16-year-old stepbrother.
The very person she was afraid of. The person who carried a knife and was obsessed with her.
An arrangement they made despite months of specific, documented warning signs.
Right. So we move to the final night, November 6th. The cruise is on its last sea day, heading back to Miami.
Anna isn't feeling well. Apparently her braces were bothering her, so she decides to go back to the cabin early to rest.
Right.
But she felt a bit better later on.
Yeah, she rallied and went to find her grandparents in the ship's casino.
And her grandmother, Barbara Kepner, she remembers that last conversation. Mima, I love you guys. I'll see you later.
And we never saw her again after that.
Just a normal, casual goodbye. It's devastating.
Totally agree.
Okay, ship surveillance footage is critical here. It shows Anna going back to that shared cabin in the evening.
And crucially, there is no footage of her ever coming back out.
The death certificate later
Right.
confirmed the date of injury was November 6th. Whatever happened, it started after she went into that room.
Right.
And the discovery the next morning, it says so much about intent.
It really does. Finding her under the bed is one thing, but she was deliberately wrapped in a blanket.
And then covered by those life jackets.
It points overwhelmingly towards concealment, towards hiding what was done.
Right. Which immediately makes those items, the blanket, the life jackets, the bedding, the focus of the forensic investigation.
Absolutely.
So then the ship docks on November 8th. And because this happened in international waters, local police don't handle it.
No, the FBI takes over immediately. When a U.S. citizen is the victim of a serious crime on the high seas, it's their jurisdiction.
Right.
And they start pulling all the data. Surveillance footage, electronic keycard swipes for the doors, every piece of digital evidence to build a timeline.
Yeah.
And the stepbrother was identified as a suspect really quickly, but the public found out in a very unusual way.
Yeah. Anna's stepmother, Chantel Hudson, was in court
Right.
for a completely unrelated emergency custody motion.
And her attorneys, to explain why the home was unstable, they disclosed that the FBI had told them a criminal case might be coming against one of her minor children.
Without that unrelated court case, we might not have known he was a suspect for a long, long time. Juvenile laws would have kept it private.
But it forced it into the public record. 2 days later, the ex-husband's attorney stated it plainly in court. The older child is a suspect in the death of the stepchild.
That same attorney also brought up the issue of supervision, pointing out that the 16-year-old was allowed to drink alcohol in international waters.
But that feels like a distraction.
It's a total distraction. The core negligence here wasn't about alcohol. It was about putting her in that room in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. They put a vulnerable young woman in a confined space with the very person she had told people she was afraid of.
The medical examiner's final ruling on November 24th just solidified everything. Homicide, mechanical asphyxia.
Mechanical asphyxia by other persons.
And we should explain what that means. It's not instant.
That's right. It's sustained pressure, an arm across the neck, cutting off oxygen. It takes minutes to cause death, not seconds.
Which just underscores the intentional, sustained violence of the attack. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't a quick strike.
And then the immediate cold-blooded effort to hide the body. The stuffing under the bed, the blanket, the life jackets.
It points to a clear attempt to stage a scene and conceal a major crime.
And toxicology came back clean, no signs of sexual assault, and no drugs or alcohol in Anna's system.
After the discovery, the 16-year-old stepbrother was immediately hospitalized. But to be very clear, as of right now, November 25th, no charges have been filed.
The FBI will present its case to a federal grand jury, and that jury will decide if there's enough evidence to indict.
Right.
When you look back at everything, the sheer gravity of the missed warnings is it's staggering.
The 3 a.m. incident, her telling people he was obsessed, her fear about the knife he carried, all of it was known.
The choice to put her in that cabin, it just raises
Right.
these profound questions about parental responsibility.
Right.
It's hard to imagine a more explicit failure to protect a child. And you have to ask, when does that idea of family harmony become dangerous? When does avoiding a confrontation put a child's life at risk?
That desire to be kind, to keep the peace, it cost her everything. But we have to remember the person she was.
Absolutely.
She lived with this vibrant energy. Her dreams of service, the Navy, the K-9 unit, she was actively working toward them.
And at her memorial service, The family asked everyone to wear bright colors, not black, to honor her vibrant and beautiful spirit. It's a
Right.
testament to the person she was.
I think the final thought we want to leave you with, and it's the most difficult part of this case, is that Anna was scared to speak up. She was worried about causing conflict in her family.
And that just raises the question, when does that desire for family peace become a dangerous silence? How many other young people are being silenced by that same dynamic?
Your safety is just. It's non-negotiable. If you're a young person listening and you feel unsafe around a family member for any reason, please tell a trusted adult. Tell more than one.
Your safety is so much more important than avoiding family drama.
As of today, November 25th, the stepbrother is still a suspect. The death is a homicide. But no criminal charges have been filed yet?
The FBI investigation is ongoing. They're finalizing all that forensic analysis. We're absolutely committed to following this case.
If this deep dive gave you some important insight, please
Right.
hit that like button, subscribe to The Final Hour, and ring the notification bell for any updates.
Justice for Anna means accountability, of course. But it also means that we all have to learn from the warning signs that were so tragically missed here.
Until next time.